Hey Shebsy, thank you for the question. So when there's a sharp drop in new offer, can you tell whether it's definitely at IP or just sellers selling out fast? Well, I've got a few examples here and I'd like to show you how I would analyze it, because obviously avoiding them IP complaints is really important, because we don't want to be selling products which could potentially cause us damage. So to start off with, we have got this Bondi Sands product. As you can see here, Bondi Sands had been on the buy box or on this listing since roughly January 30. It says it at the bottom there, Monday, January 30. You can see that they was winning the buy box. We have got quite a few different offer counts on here, and I want to show this product particular because you used to get this from like Home Bargains and B&M. But Bondi Sands had been on the listing for a while, and as you can see here, in July, so several months later, that's when they actually dropped the first IP, and you can see they dropped it straight down from 13 sellers right down to 1. And over time, a few more sellers came back on, and once again they dropped a second IP complaint. When you see this, this is a brand dropping IP, and because Bondi Sands obviously want to protect the brand, which is understandable, you can see they was very harsh on it after, because you can see the offer count is slowly minimized, and if you went to the all time, they have been very aggressive with dealing with this. So this is why I want to show you Bondi Sands as a IP complaint, because it's easy to get, especially if you was looking at places like Home Bargains and B&M. I think I saw earlier there was a newer seller on, so Casma Limited, 4 reviews. Just be careful, you may be getting an IP complaint. There's another one which I want to show you as well. So that was the brand giving you an IP, but we've got this listing here, and this is Kalos Keratin. And as you can see, same again. We got 25, 29 sellers. It dropped down, went back up to 38, dropped down, and it continued to sell with multiple sellers, which looked okay. But I want to show you who actually issued this IP. So what we could do is we could scroll in. So if you tap it, you could zoom in and you can see it's dropped down all the way. But it was this Tools for Beauty Limited. And I don't know when these first came onto the listing, but Tools for Beauty Limited, when this IP actually happened back, I think it was 2003, 2004, I looked at the Tools for Beauty and you couldn't tell the brand was actually Tools for Beauty. And if you look at the all-time chart here, since these two IP complaints, Tools for Beauty has been on there for pretty much the whole lifetime of the listing. And what they've done now is they've actually got transparency codes on the actual product to protect them. And another way, if you see an IP complaint, I would always go and check who's like winning the buy box at that time, and then I'd be looking at the store. So you can see here, Tools for Beauty Limited, they still sell that product, so we could go look at their storefront, and you can see Kalos, they've got quite a few Kalos products. If one thing you would be wanting to look for is to make sure that that Kalos product had other sellers on the listings. As you can see here, we've got Tools for Beauty, Nicoloco. I don't know who they are, but you can see that Tools for Beauty must have the rights of this product. Going down here, it's either them or Nicoloco, so that will be a big telltale sign to avoid. I have got another product, which is this Funko one. So this Funko one, this one is a little bit different, and it was a bit hard to find one to show you the exact data. So I'm going to show you the all time, and this does look like it does go quite sharp. When you're looking at these older listings, the offer count, when they do drop, it does look quite sharp. But what you've got to be doing is zooming in and having a look at like the offer counts, Another thing which you could do, especially like a listing like this one, we can see it's dropped down gradually, so you'd assume that them sellers have sold out. This off account would be including FBA sellers and FBM sellers. So what you could do is go to the data, look at the offers. You can see it's only got one here, but you can include historical offers, and then you'll be looking at the people who's got stock. So we've got Ape Collection who's recently sold out. You can see their stock level actually went down. When you are looking at these stock levels, you've got to be very careful, because if you add an FBM seller, they can alter their stock because they might have sold that on a different marketplace. But if you're looking at FBA sellers, that stock is actually in Amazon's fulfillment centers. So this stock level would be pretty accurate, and you'll be able to see that they would have actually made sales here. And you'd go down and make sure that you have a few sellers who would also go and sell out. We could zoom in on these charts as well. So you can see here, probably 10, 4, 2, and then sold out. So that is how I would analyze like IPs. I would go and have a look at this data and make sure that stock levels have depleted when they have sold out, and it's not just an IP. But zoom in, you could zoom in right to the second. You can see here we're at 10 minutes. Go straight in, and you go, oh, we've zoomed out too much, but you can zoom in quite well. So make sure you do use that zooming in feature. This is the premium version of Keepa, which isn't expensive, but just so you're aware, you can see roughly when this person actually made a sale. So you can see 7:36. So I hope that video helps. I'm sorry it's a long one, but make sure you drop a follow, like, and bookmark this video. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.